we are dancing and showing support for the death of Khamenei. This might be surprising. And this happened. It is not that he just died. He died in an attack. And it is an attack on our country, but between all the options that we have had and between all the possibilities that we have tried, we have gotten nowhere and we have exhausted. This is the last option that is remaining for us. And you said that you are outside Iran and you have difficult access to the information inside Iran right now. And guess what? Starting from the day of the war, the regime has disconnected the internet. So all the footages that come out of the country are either sanctioned by the government itself, or they come through the Starlink, or you have to be very tech savvy to be able to connect to the global internet and send some pictures or some videos if you have a very stable connection. So it's been not possible to contact my family for over a week now. And even some of my texts, I have lost connection to my last tech-savvy family member. I have no news of my family. So the news has been very much censored there.
How is your family is living there, and how do you have any connection previous to the war, what they were telling, or after the attacks, what they were telling to you?
I can say in general that sentiment was mostly pro-war among my friends and the family members even. And why is that? It is because we have tried every way possible. We have even the election in Iran is not a real election. It is they pass several people through a filter and select some of them. They might have different views, but those views are still in line with the views of the government. And then from those, you have to choose one. So there have been several of these elections, and we have taken part in those, saying that between bad and worse, we will choose the bad. It is lesser of the two evil, in hope that the policies of the government would change, or in the hope that their hostility towards other countries, which had also costs for us, would end or would be at least limited, or our situation improve slightly. But all the time, the result has been the same. The government has been following the same kind of principles, you might say, that they wanted by burning our resources on those objectives. So they ignored the want of Iranian people all the time, and every protest would be faced by bullets. People would just lose their lives. And when you are facing such evil, you start to think, what other option do I have? And lately, around 40 days ago, now 50 days ago, people took it to the street. Before that, the process had started due to so many reasons. The reasons abound, the economic situation, the limitations on people's freedom, the massacre that always happens. All of these have built up, and another opposition, another protest broke out throughout the whole country, even in the most conservative cities, including my city, which is a very small city and very conservative. They rarely show opposition to the government because in a small city, everyone knows everyone. There was huge protest, and Prince Reza Pahlavi, the exiled crown prince, supported the people, was the voice of the people, echoed the voice of the people, and also issued an invitation to protest. On the 2 nights that he had announced, millions of people came out, and the regime used military-grade weaponry against the people. Hours before the protest, not only they cut the internet, as they most of the time do during the times of unrest, they also cut out electricity in my own hometown, Faso, which is very small, because they were afraid of people uniting and being, and they wanted to make it difficult for them by every means. by even turning off the electricity so they cannot see each other when they come out. So there is no light on the lampposts. But they came out, and for days we were not aware of what was going on in Iran, except for a few people who had access to Starlink again. So we only had access to the official narrative, which was a false narrative, or very few videos that started to come out. And it turned out when the tensions went down, more and more videos of the brutalities of the regime came out, and more stories came out, more pictures came out. It turns out that they have killed over 40,000 protesters over 2 nights, from young kids to the elderly. This is one of the reasons that even the most peaceful, peace-loving, against war people that I knew all my life started opposing the government and saying that this regime cannot go out because it is a true dictatorship. It is like the dictatorship of Hitler. If you voted Hitler out, he wouldn't have gone out. You don't have a real election, and protests are always oppressed. And there are degrees to the scale of brutality, and the brutality of this regime is, I have an interest in history, and I have studied the history of some of the past dictatorships, and I know something about them. And I live in Poland, where they had the communist rule. The situation was terrible, but the level of brutality against the people, when you look at the evidence, when you look at the video footage, when you look at the narratives of the people, was not even close to what's going on here. And that's why we do not have any other option except for welcoming war to Iran, which might seem surprising for many. And we are very well aware that it is going to have so much costs for us. But this regime staying is going to be much more costly.